G'day friends and fans, and welcome to Dave Talk Stuff Ukraine War Update for the 26th of August 2026. I'm your host, the author David Applegate, author of the books The Boyhood of Cave, Power Games, Into the Earthbound, and The Erotic Tales from the Empire. All my links are in the link tree. Now, as the war continues, I shall continue to bring you comprehensive news and updates from both sides of the war. In today's video, we're going to look at the Ukraine map. We have some more news from former Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov in an interview with Reuters. Once again, Russia's Wildberries has come under Ukrainian attack. There's also been a refinery fire at Krasnodar. A Russian response to Fedorov's statements. It's a bit of humble bragging from Russia, whether you want to stick around for that. You should always hear from both sides, no matter what your opinion is. Russia has claimed Annovka. Actually, the town. I found a few entries on Annovka, but yeah. And some more on Russian strikes. And has the T-14 made a comeback? Let's begin, shall we, with the Ukraine map. As you can see, Sumy and Cherniv Oblast have been artilleried from the border with some shelling of Savovska and drone strikes on Sumy, drone strikes on Kharkiv. Savovsk and Kramatorsk have been bombed. We also have Dnipro, Zaporozhye, and Odessa. That's actually a day old, but here's the actual 162 drones allegedly. That's a day old. That's a day old. And as we look around the battlefield, we can see Sumy's quite hot, but no progress made. We have a bit of progress here, but not much in the buffer zone. Kupiansk remains a stalemate, and so does a Lyman. Only a tiny fraction of movement on the map here at Mikhailovka. Koshnikovia is a stalemate. Most of the map, there's only tiny movements here and there, with very little movement down here, and pretty much Zaporozhye and Kherson are completely frozen. There's the Ukrainian strike on Russia yesterday. They updated the reason why I bring it up is because two more have been reported injured from the yesterday's. I think they were listed as critical. I think they're now downgraded to injured. It's also a day ago, 13 hours ago, explosions in Lugansk. I think that's 8 hours ago. There's the attack on Wildberries. And there was an attack up here in Novograd. That's about it. Right, so it is not much to report. The war continues, and most of the war continues off map. But before I get to the news, Empire Valves, that's Empire Valves, one word. myshopify.com, your one-stop shop for enchanting treasures based on my writing. Now, Mikhail Fedorov has said Ukraine appears to be slowly losing the war. He told Reuters, warning that Kiev has a window of several months to make key decisions needed to turn the tide in their favour. Now, there's been protests and howling, and he blames the lack of interceptors and talking about the importance of autonomous drones and artificial intelligence and the budget deficit. Ukraine has asked for another 27 billion, that's with a B, just for this month. I repeat, they've asked for 27 billion this month. They usually get 2 to 3. Now, Al Jazeera, of course, has reported on the much larger version of the fire at Wildberries. And this is actually as a result of yesterday's attack. 2 were killed. And then, amazingly, in other news, the critically injured, so there were 2 people killed, 2 others injured, yes. It was critical, it's been downplayed to injured from falling debris. Yeah. I have a Kickstarter. The Empire of Elves official not suitable for art book, bringing my artwork to life. I need your support, please. All right. The Russian response to Mikhail Fedorov is that he believes that Fedorov has had an amazing revelation and that it was obvious from the start, and it's them playing the blame game. Now, all things aside, there is a bit of blame game going on and a lot of hand-wringing and hands out in that Ukraine never gets enough money. We're living in a world where ungrateful people aren't cut off. They're pandered to. Always some sycophant somewhere who wants to be lauded, applauded. Of course, the majority of it I blame the media and the lack of courage in the world today. But he is responding directly to Fedorov, and an inability to innovate, entrenched corruption, nepotism, and political dependence on institutions, yes. But of course, they are blaming Europe. You don't give us enough money. That's, you're spending more on this war already than Russia, by the way. Way more than Russia, in some respects. So, as a response, is Europe ready for Ukraine's defeat? Well, how close are we to a Ukrainian defeat? Are we 6 months away, 3 months away, 3 weeks away? Well, experts actually put it at 18 months. But you can't hold me to that, given that tomorrow they could come out with some wackadoodle, brand new interceptor that actually, I'm expecting it. I'm expecting Pac 4s and Pac 5s, and I expect Poland or one of the NATO countries to roll it out into Ukraine and start intercepting long-range missiles and then change the face of the war. Who knows? Although a lot of people were calling Afghanistan at 10 years, and it took another 10 years before that shit show got wound up. And it wouldn't be a shit show if it wasn't for the amount of base sitting and fumbling that Europe did, and failure to secure their supply lines in Pakistan, and then a failure to stand up to Pakistan when they failed to secure the supply lines because they wouldn't shoot on the Muslims raiding them. So Russia claims Annovka. There's actually a few settlements named this. It's actually not that far from Donetsk. It's part of the frozen front. Just Ukraine rocked in after months of stalemate, yeah, the Ukrainian forces were defeated. Now, again, this is one of those areas on the map that it's not marked. They don't mark half the battles. That's the problem. Now, Russia says that it continues to carry out strikes, and this is something interesting, but I think you should know that when a lot of drones get delivered, they don't have explosives in them until they get to the battlefield. And yeah, so prior to launch, the electronic brain and or decoder chips and explosives are put into the drone before it's launched. Oops. Yeah. Now, has the Russian arms T-14 Armata made a comeback? Well, it's been fitted with a new long barrel. In the past, it was using encased sabots. Now it's got APFSDS. This is a longer range armor piercing. Well, let's get this right, shall we? Yeah, armor piercing, fin stabilizing, discarding sabot. So instead of this is pretty much a effective combat range of 4 kilometers, although it has a ballistic range. And this is what Russia has done. They have extended the range dramatically, right? As a standard anti-tank projectile from a recoilless gun right up to a tank, normally it has a range of about 4 kilometers. But the new long barrel gun fired ballistic can actually get 100 kilometers. Because it doesn't go up and down, it goes up and over. So it actually does not come down in the same angle it came up. So it actually, in that respect, it's more of a mortar than a tank shell, but still. Yeah, it does. It has a tungsten dart with a lightweight sabot that pretty much is discharged when it's left the barrel. And it's 120 millimeter smooth bore. Yeah, but it does use flat direct combat for usually. But why is it using, yeah. So why are they doing all this? Well, they're still trying to work out how to scale. And they have around 40 now Armatas. They have produced some more, although some say 40. But it appears that they are working out how to scale up and mass produce the Armata T14 and T15. Though I thought previously the new factory they were going for T28, but no, that appears to be put off with T90 taking over as the main tank production. But it will be a matter of time before we find out whether or not Russia has gotten to that point. Now, of course, on the Ukrainian side, President Volodymyr Zelensky has stated that if he gets another 27 billion, he can produce 200 to 300 long-range strike drones a day, but he faces an uphill battle due to funding. These drones have an operational range of 350 kilometers to 3,000 kilometers, but his true aim is to match Russia's output and in the first few months, and then they will exceed that with mass attacks reaching 1,000 drones a day, and 27 billion is only the shortfall on the defense budget. There is no actual evidence to back Zelensky's claim that 27 billion will triple production. And this is, he claims they're spending less money than Moscow. And then it's essential. You're not spending as much money as them. Well, no, you are spending more than them. Ukraine is not spending as much as Moscow, true. But America and Britain and France and Germany, they understate how much they spend on Ukraine. If you add up even the billions from Poland and the money on the side, you know what happens? Yeah, you suddenly find out they're spending 300, not 127 billion. So that is the state of the war. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please support the channel and support me on Ko-Fi, Patreon, buy my books, buy my merch. Please join my Patreon, $1 a month. All my links are in the link tree, description below, in my profile, or scan the QR code on the screen. Appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video, and bye for now.